Good morning and welcome to the ODPP Café. My name is Anita Onuko. I am your host for the show. This is a show brought to you by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. We are also on Twitter at ODPP_KE. I'd like to apologize for beginning late. We had some tech challenges, but I believe they're now sorted. I think today I even wanted to introduce this show in Kiswahili. Karibu sana kwenye kipindi cha ODPP Café, imeletwa kwako kwa hisani ya ofisi ya mkuu wa mashtaka. Yeah, I was trying to challenge myself there. Anyway, welcome so much to the show, and thank you so much for creating time to be with us today. We are going to discuss about International Women's Day and breaking the bias, and we'll do that just right after we go through the highlights of the court. Karibu sana, invite someone and let them follow us. You're welcome to comment, you're welcome to engage with us respectfully, and also just let us know your thoughts on breaking the bias, and let us know actually if you've broken the bias wherever you are, private or professional lives, because it cuts across all our lives in the context of our lives as women. So thank you once again. I just want to take you through a bit of the court highlights. As usual, it's not exhaustive, just a few of the cases that we wanted to highlight to you this week, and then we can begin the show. So the first case involves Migori Governor Okoth Obado. The Sharon Atieno murder case is ongoing, and this week the ODPP had some witnesses presenting their evidence to the court. Dr. Samson Wanjala, a consultant on obstetrics and gynecology, took the court through the graphic images that are being used to prove that the involvement of Obado, his aides Michael Oyamo, Caspal Obiero in the murder of Sharon Atieno and her unborn baby at Owade in Homa Bay County. The murder case is involving Migori County governor and his aides. So Dr. Wanjala said that the fetus died at 28 weeks. His intestines were out and he was bleeding, quite graphic. Migori County Secretary Christopher Odhiambo, who is also a witness, confirmed that Oyamo and Obiero were Obado's personal assistants. So the case will proceed on March 22nd. Quite graphic there, but the case is ongoing. Now the next highlight is about the horrific incident that happened on Forest Road. Nowadays it's called Wangari Maathai Road. I don't know whether you watched it, but it was making rounds on social media. This lady who hit a motorcycle, a boda rider, got really some bad treatment by the boda guys. So following that, there's been a crackdown on that incident. They're trying to get the culprits involved in this case. And so far, 16 boda riders are in court. They allegedly assaulted the female diplomat. Apparently, the lady was a diplomat. And these guys have been detained for 15 days after the prosecution successfully submitted an application to have them in custody pending investigation. I don't know if I've discussed that here, but that can also happen, that you can be detained as investigation is ongoing. So the suspects are James Mutinda, Samuel Wafula, Charles Omondi, Japheth Bosire, Hassan Farah, Wanjiko Lincoln, Harrison Maina, among others. I think I heard on the news today as well that the key suspect, the one who had disappeared in the sewer duct, some place in Mukuru, has been found and has been arrested, but that will be updated later. So this case is ongoing. It was quite telling and quite unfortunate that we're discussing this on the same week we are observing International Women's Day. So Inspector Police Yvonne Wanzia told the court that the victim, who is a diplomat, reported the incident at Parklands Police Station. She said the complainant is yet to sign a P3 and she's still undergoing medication and counseling. The case will be mentioned on 24th of March. I mean, I don't think I'll ever get over the screams I had from that lady, and nobody deserves such treatment no matter what you've done. In observing this week's March 8th International Women's Day, there was a function at State House, and His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta recognized the ODPP for setting up an anti-FGM prosecution unit to aid the fight of the outlawed cultural practice that undermines the potential of women in Kenya. The President was speaking during the launch of the Margaret Kenyatta Institute of Gender and Social Development at the Kenya Institute of Government. Quite timely, seeing that this was launched on 8th of March, but also quite a good thing for ODPP, for the anti-FGM unit that is managed by the ODPP, and it's across the country. The ODPP has developed guidelines on prosecution of FGM cases and has conducted public sensitizations against FGM. I think this is ongoing. The ODPP also has specialized SGBV division that leads prosecution on SGBV cases, that is sexual and gender-based violence cases. The next case is about the Ndishu twins. One of the twins, Ndishu, was charged with assault and malicious damage. Paul Ndishu, one of the twins, is the one who was charged. His twin brother Eddie, on the other hand, was absent from the court because he did not get permission from his employer. They were charged at the Kibera Law Courts for assaulting Cheryl Mugo, Chelimo Murgor, and Stephanie Murgor at Ole Sereni Hotel along Mombasa Road on the night of October 16th to 17th, 2021. So one of the twins was charged with assault and malicious damage to property. Also, this video was quite an interesting watch on social media. Now the case has started. So Paul, appearing before senior resident magistrate Rene Kitangwa, denied all the 6 charges. He was released on 100,000 bail. Eddie is set to take plea on March 21st. This next case is about a head teacher who gets life for defilement in Kajiado. He had defiled a 10-year-old girl from his neighborhood. The prosecution, led by Gladys Chepngeno, proved the case beyond reasonable doubt that that this head teacher was guilty of this offense. And I think I read also elsewhere that this case was 8 years old. So if this girl was 10 then she must be 18 right now. The prosecution, led by Gladys Chepngeno, proved the case beyond reasonable doubt against the headmaster of Great Elite Academy located in Kitengela. So the head teacher has gotten life for defilement of this. The ODPP is quite committed to help clear the backlog of cases in the judicial system. And we keep talking about this in how the criminal justice system works and how the ultimate is just to reduce the backlog of cases in the institutions, in the correctional services. Now to our exciting topic. I was telling my guest how I'm always excited about March 8th discussing women issues. I think because I'm a woman and I've had the privilege to actually discuss with different women in different sectors about what it is to be a woman in the professional space. I like talking about work-life balance and what stops women from succeeding. So today I'm in the presence of power and expertise from very powerful women, and I want to just introduce you to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you're excited as I am to talk about women in the justice sector, because you're all in the criminal justice, both in the criminal justice sector. So I want to start with you, Madam. Karibu sana to the show. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Thank you, Anita.
Yes.
My name is Florence Omundi Momanyi. I'm the Deputy Commissioner General of Prisons, the second in command in the Kenya Prison Service, and I'm based at the Community Area Prisons Headquarters.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Karibu sana to the show.
Yes,
We hope to hear more about women in prisons and how they're breaking the bias, and of course how you broke your bias. Karibu sana, Madam Tabitha.
Good morning, viewers. My name is Tabitha Uya, OGW Senior Assistant DPP. I'm currently in charge of Civil Rights Division
Okay.
at the ODPP at the headquarters.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We've had Madam Tabitha before talking about anti-FGM, one of the challenges women face, and it was quite an interesting show. Yeah, but today I want us to talk about International Women's Day, and the theme was breaking the bias. And first of all, we just need to understand from your personal and professional lives. We start with you, Madam Florence. What are some of the biases that you've had to challenge? You are number 2. I mean, I said I'm sitting in the presence of power today. So being number 2 is not easy, definitely. You've had to scale mount some challenges. Maybe just briefly, what are some of these challenges that you've had to face as a woman in the prison?
Thank you, Anita.
Yes.
Well, you remind me of gender discrimination, sexual and gender-based violence.
Yes.
I have experienced that.
Yeah.
Sexual harassment in itself, underrepresentation, discrimination on the basis of gender, on the fact that you are a woman in a male-dominated society.
Yes.
All those roles, stereotypes, being in a uniformed service. It's assumed that you can't make it. You shouldn't even be there in the first place. You are wrongly placed, and it's because you know somebody or you're connected, that is why you are there. Those are serious biases that have.
Does it surprise people when you walk in and say you are the topmost woman in the prisons department? Do they expect different?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, people keep asking me, where did you pass?
Who do you know?
Who do you know?
Yeah.
How did you know there?
Yeah.
And because of this, I have decided that I will hold on the hands of women and walk with them literally. And I will tell people I am a woman and I walk in a skirt.
Yeah.
And I've decided to be in a skirt because in this male-dominated society, the uniformed service, it's like you have to be a man. You must dress like a man. You must talk like a man. And I've said, no, I will just be a woman, a mother, a wife, and that is who I am. And I will work like one, think like one, feel like one, and
no apologies.
No apologies to make.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How long have you been in the prisons?
I have been in the prisons for 35 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah, I started from the lower ranks. I joined as a cadet graduate and went up the ladder. I stuck somewhere for 10 years.
Okay.
I was a chief inspector for 10 years.
Yeah,
because of sexual gender-based violence.
Yeah.
But
discrimination.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, karibu sana. Madam Tabitha.
Oh, thank you so much. It is my pleasure today to talk on this subject of women issues.
Yeah.
I want to start by saying that as a girl child, even imagining that I'm going to be a lawyer, that was now the last thought in my mind because I was not mentored that way.
Yeah.
And I think in my family, the best that ever was a teacher. So maybe they thought I'll just finish school and get into a teacher training college, and that was over with it.
Yeah.
I also remember even being introduced to somebody who had just arrived from the UK because the women had their fellowship. My auntie came home and said there's a big announcement. Somebody needed a girl, and she had said there's a girl, and she arrived home and she was saying I was the girl.
Oh.
So you can imagine there was already pressure upon me to be handed upon, even the thought of going for further studies even to the university. But that notwithstanding, I started my career as a lawyer in the office of the Attorney General from the list from State Council 2, and I rose through the ranks. The challenges included sexual bias. They were there. Harassment was there because people think you are helpless, you need them, and they'll always make those kind of approaches. Then having to balance, because when you get to that stage of as a young woman, you are in that life childbearing age, having to balance work and life was the biggest challenge. Because the woman, you will never get anything good your way because it is assumed you're not going to be there. You are always either giving birth or you have a sick child or that. So that was a very, very major bias. And also I must say that there was stagnation even in terms of promotion. And those days there were no clear systems as to how people get promoted. So if there was no one to really push your case,
you had to know someone.
So you find that you start with your young brothers at the same level. 6 years down the line, they've risen 2 ranks and you are still on the same rank.
Just because you're a woman.
Someone has to look at your file and ask, where have you been? You know. So I went through that, and it was shocking. But what I can say is that getting into a serious appointment as a woman has not been a very easy issue, and therefore I would only say that it was difficult before, but it is getting better now because we are in a good progressive constitutional dispensation, and institutions are changing. In particular, we have grown from the Attorney General to the ODPP, which has changed It has changed its face, and systems have changed, and I think I'm looking forward even to brighter and
For
better
brighter days.
for the woman worker
Yeah.
at the ODPP.
How long have you practiced law?
I've practiced law for 28 years.
Eh,
Yes.
women with experience.
I've practiced for 28 years.
that's quite a while. So do you think we've made good progress? Because you know, you'd meet somebody, a younger generation person, I'll tell you, they don't understand what you're talking about breaking the bias. They found a soft landing. So do you think we've made good progress?
I think we've made good progress, because personally, I am a mother of 4. I have 4 boys, 2 boys and 2 girls. And I've given them equal opportunities in life. I never one day looked at my daughter as a girl, or never did I look at my son as a boy and say, you will get this and the girl will not get this. So I have one of my daughters who has come out very strong, and she shocks me because she has never even imagined she's a girl child. She reasons like, nobody can abuse my rights, you know. And she's able to tell of, even in situations, she walks into a public place and she's able to assess the environment immediately. And she gives me a feedback that I think those employees are not being treated well. That's why they are very hostile to members of the public. So for me, I think things are getting better, and the younger generation actually are getting a softer landing. That is true, because they are coming into a situation where we are all now sensitive to gender issues. And we know that the girl child is as important as the boy child. We are also more sensitive that the girl child needs to be given extra care because of that, those special issues like the mothering stage. As you can see now in our environment, we have even a lactation unit where mothers can comfortably come and take care of their motherly issues. And we are also able to give them leave. You know that in our constitutional dispensation, formerly maternity leave was only 60 days. It is now 90 days, which is a plus. I can also speak about the men, the paternity leave. It is a plus to the women, because why would you give birth and you are from hospital and look after yourself and after your baby, and after your in-laws who have come to see the baby but are depending on you for the housework, for the food and everything. So when you have the man on paternity leave, then it means the woman is getting the support that she needs to recover from that childbirth, and also to get back her energy and to resume work. I believe things are getting better.
Yes, I heard Caroline Mutoko said that you break the bias from home. And it's very important that you mention that that's how you bring up your children. And I hope that when they actually come out, they look like the bias has been broken. You know, they don't go back 10 steps back. So, Madam, just tell us a bit about the prison system. Do the prisoners, the women prisoners, do they also face the challenges, the same challenges we people face? I'm about to say the free, but then do they also face challenges?
Thank you, Anita. It will be very interesting to know that when we professional women face challenges, the imprisoned women face double challenges. Why? Because you realize that the moment you get arrested or you are charged with any criminal activity, anything, then the man takes off. First, you are labeled criminal. They'll call you a prostitute even if you did whatever you did. And you see, when you get imprisoned, you already have been detached from your family, from your children. And then if you have a small baby, you will go to prison with this small baby, and the baby starts serving a sentence with you, literally. Which then means that while we are talking of lactation, you know, paternity leave, maternity leave,
doesn't apply to them.
Yes, it is there, yes. They will be given the same right constitutional as any other woman, the 90 days maternity leave. But you see, for them, they will not have paternity.
How does a 90-day leave work out in prison?
It works better than for you, Anita. You may not believe this.
How is that?
For the woman in prison, she will be given off to be with her baby. She will give full breastfeeding. Yes. She will be with her baby daily. And then somebody else another caregiver will take care of her and the baby. So
Oh.
it's like they're replacing now the father
Yes.
to this baby. This woman will not do any work. She will stay
Oh, wow.
in the room.
Yeah.
They have a separate room for mother-child until the 90 days are over. But normally they stay for 6 months.
6 months.
Yes, until the baby
Has that always been the case, or is it just now under the new constitution that this is being enforced?
It has been there, but now with the new constitution, it is strictly enforced. Yes. And then we make sure that during this time they will go for postnatal, antenatal for the others, and the baby will be taken to the wellness clinic, because you realize that we have nutritionists in the room, in prison, yeah? We have the nurses, the doctors,
Yeah.
and we have the caregivers. We have this woman who will take care of the baby. She's an ECDE teacher in most cases.
Yeah.
It has to be ECDE.
Yeah.
And then you have now the nurse who is a medical
Yes.
officer, health worker. You will have an inmate who is a caregiver of the inmate who has a baby of the mother. Then you will have a social welfare officer who now works as the caregiver of the other one. Then you will have an officer taking care of the general security. Remember, this mother is still serving a sentence. She's an offender.
Yeah.
So you have this officer will be in uniform, just making sure that you are serving a sentence.
It
under
sounds
the law.
so soft.
Yes. Actually, people don't realize that the baby is much more protected and secure than the baby out there.
Yeah.
The only problem is that the baby may not have now the luxury of being maybe out there in the sun, but the care in prison, if you asked me, is better than what I give my child out here.
But they do get outside, so even the sun is there.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And then you see they'll be with the others, although you will not be allowed to go so close to this baby.
Yeah.
Because you see, we also do not want, as officers, to sleep in the hospital because we are guarding
Oh, yes.
the inmate.
Yeah.
So we will go out of our way to ensure that we do whatever it takes to ensure the woman doesn't get sick, the baby doesn't get sick, so that then we don't go to sleep in hospital with the mother of the baby, because then you also become now like a patient. Literally, you also admitted. So we try to guard against
So
that.
being pregnant is not a reason for the judge to let you go.
Unless it's
or having a small baby.
Unless it's a capital offense. No.
Legally, you cannot be
Child.
in your sentence.
Oh, you're just
if you are found to be with the child.
Oh.
Yeah, and we have a few cases, 1 or 2, where somebody, and that is a case study, because even it's mysterious how somebody could go out of their way to get pregnant, themselves pregnant, when they were facing a case of murder, yet we knew that murder was not bailable. She was in custody.
And she got pregnant?
She got pregnant. And she had a very big baby, so on the day of they were convicted, but she could not be sentenced because she had a child.
That's quite interesting. I wonder what happened.
But you see, even if you are not convicted, you are still in prison, because here we are talking about confinement.
Yes.
You are confined with your baby. Whether you are serving a sentence or not, are you getting?
Yes.
You are still confined.
Yeah.
So even if you are remanded, you are still in prison.
Yes.
It doesn't change. You might even spend longer time there, because you see, like in that case, they will take longer to even convict. And you see, pregnancy only takes 9 months. And you see, in murder cases, capital offenses, it will take longer.
Yeah.
It takes longer. So by that time, you even have given birth.
So women prisons are taken care of by women?
Yes. Oh, yes. Legally, women take care of women.
Yeah.
Female prisons are manned by female officers. The search, everything is done by a female officer. But of course, you will have men taking care of the outer security.
Yeah.
The larger security, they will also be there in escorts. Yeah. But in contact, it's only a woman.
Only the female.
Yes, only the female taking care of the female. Yes.
Breaking the bus is such a wide topic. Like I'm thinking now of the policies now at ODPP, the anti-FGM, the SGBV, How important have they been in breaking the bias?
Okay, let me just talk about the history of sexual and gender-based violence policies at the ODPP.
Yeah.
I remember being very actively involved when the Sexual Offences Act came into place in 2006. We had a small team that was operationalizing it, and that was the birth of sexual and gender-based violence.
Was that a bit late?
It wasn't a bit late because we have to have the act in place first before we can know what to do about
I'm just thinking 206 is the other day.
But it was a game changer for the woman because initially the woman was sexually molested, harassed, abused in many ways. And the penal code, which was the only law we knew, could not address all those issues because it was a wide variety. But I commend the ladies who came out and fought for this law to come in place, and even for the MPs who made it, who passed it.
Yeah.
And we formed that unit to operationalize just by acknowledging the various provisions of the law and making sure that we put all the requirements in place. And we were able even now to start taking people to court and charging them, even just the sensitization, because we had some people in the remote areas. There was no this vibrant social media to share information. So there are certain people in some remote areas who didn't even know about sexual and SOA.
Yeah.
So they could even still charge people with the penal code that says carnal knowledge. So what was
Carnal knowledge,
carnal knowledge of a child or such like things. So we did a lot of sensitization countrywide, and now this is a legal framework that has been really appreciated, that has addressed the plight of women, because mainly women are the majority of culprits, of
victims
in this situation. So that was a plus. And then I remember then I headed the SGBV unit for about 7 years, and I remember we even had the anti-FGM law come into place.
Yes.
And then it became a totally very, very vibrant aspect. Initially just part of the SGBV, but it became apparent that now it had to run on its own. And that gave back,
because of the prevalence of
because
FGM?
of the prevalence and the activities that needed to be undertaken in order to just have that law effective.
Yes.
The sensitization, the operationalization, and everything. So that led to the birth of the anti-FGM unit, and which has helped a lot. You remember all these laws come with requirements for guidelines and regulations and all that. Some on the part of the ODPP, on the DPP, and others on the part of the court. And all these have been put in place, and they have gone a long way because now we can work as a team. So it doesn't look like it's only the DPP who is working, but we even have the anti-FGM board, which we work with very closely. So these guidelines have helped because they bring on board all the stakeholders so that we are able to collaborate and achieve the goal in eradicating some of these vices in the society. Yes.
But they're still prevalent. Is it because society is too patriarchal? Are we still so deep into culture that we still see women as...
I think maybe what you have seen in the past, you have seen a very vibrant activities regarding anti-FGM.
Yes.
And the hallmark of this all was the International Women's Day. You notice that the president commended about 100 anti-FGM, what are they called? Champions.
Yes.
Champions.
Yes, and this is to take...
Oh, they were recognized?
They were recognized and also commissioned, because now they are going out there. It shows you how serious the society has taken this issue. I wouldn't say it is still prevalent. I can say it is still there, but it needs to be eradicated. Because when you come up with a weapon, the other person also comes up with another strategy. Like you may know that there are certain societies where they do that FGM in hospital, a childbirth. So,
I even heard there are some who do it now after you're married.
Even some are done in marriage. I'm even told some, even it's the husband who does it, the spouse who says, you know, you can't be my wife and you are like this, you must be like
Yeah.
other women. So the fight continues. Yeah, just because it develops.
It changes.
It changes into other forms.
It evolves.
It evolves. So I think for that reason, we can say we are fighting it, and our desire is to eradicate it.
Are you seeing a future when one day we'll be totally out of this predicament of FGM?
I am seeing a very bright future because, Anita, you are aware that even we have FGM survivors coming out to speak even in your show to tell you that I went through it, this is how it happened, and this is why I'm fighting against it. So we are seeing that even most of the victims, they're not doing it willingly. So if they were given a chance, they would opt out of it. And therefore we are slowly turning them into our champions. And I'm seeing a situation when our girls will be completely free
of
from
this
that threat of female genital mutilation. Yes.
Okay, I want us to talk about a bit personal biases you faced at work. 35 years is it's a lifetime. So what are one of those things? And just be a bit specific about one of those biases that really stands out for you to date, either because you are in charge of something or you were just professionally. What is that one thing that stands out for you when you think about biases at work? And you laugh and say, enyewe nilishinda hii kitu.
Now, you just remind me, when I was young in the service, and I was an usher in the Agricultural Society of Kenya show, the national show. And there we've done very well. And in the evening, we are now preparing for His Excellency President Moi to come the following day. So I'm called to the hotel where the bosses were. And the ladies disappeared, and I was left alone with this one boss. And he tells me, you know what? You are going to sleep with me.
Oh.
I have never been so shocked because I looked at him. He looked so ugly. And I felt like I asked him, excuse me, do you know I went to university? I was not born a boy. I was born a girl. I have the option of not going to school and doing what you want me to do now, and I get a job or whatever. But I still went to school. I went to university so that I can make a difference. I cannot waste my upstairs and the downstairs at the same time. and I was just wondering, why should he? And then he banged the table and told me, you'll never be promoted as long as I hear. I said, I don't need it. That is why I went to school, so that wherever I go, I present my paper. Because my father keeps telling us, my daughters, and we are many daughters, we are a family of daughters, and we basically 90%. So my father tells us that, you know, if you have beddings, you will never miss space to sleep. I am literally translating. And therefore he tells us that, you know, one day you will go to a place and they'll tell you, no, there's more space here, but we have no beddings. So if you think you have beddings, just sleep there. And that is what has given me strength, because these beddings have taken me places. I asked him, you are going to give me a certificate, I will do it. But as long as you will not give me a certificate, so that when I go for interview, I will say, you see what?
I have been there.
I have been there. You don't have to prove it. But as long as you will do it and don't give me a certificate, don't even try. Don't. And that was a bad experience, because I felt so disgusted. I felt bad that, you know, after I've gone to school and I thought I've really made it, you want me now to sleep.
You're still reduced to this person.
You reduce me to a sexual object. And I said, whatever it takes, I don't want that promotion. I don't want anything. I will work with my papers. Wherever I go, I'll just present the papers. And I want to really be grateful to the new constitution. And even before the new constitution, because it still worked for me. And I also remember when I was in the training college, and I just went there, and this trainer told me to kubeba mguu juu. I want to say it in Swahili.
It's all right.
And I felt so bad, because I thought that was vulgar language. We mwanamuke. I'd never been called a woman. Actually, I didn't know I was a woman, because where I come from, we really don't have discrimination. And when he called me a woman, I thought I was a girl or a lady. You know, you woman, leave your degree in the room. Lift
Inua mguju.
Yes. Inua mguju juu kabisa hii mguu ni ya serikali. And you know he holds you right up to inside. And that skirt was so short. It was so small. A green khaki skirt.
Yeah.
And you know, he would take an angle and look right inside and tell me to lift. You know?
No.
And then he would just continue watching. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 1 and 2. Yes. Hii mguu ni ya serikali. And
You don't put on trousers when training?
You know, the trousers just came the other day. During our time, there were no trousers, and you see the skirt is a length. It had to be above the knee because you see, for you to be able to match.
Yes.
Lift your leg 90 degrees. It has to be 90 degrees. You had to wear that short skirt.
Yeah.
And when I look at those experiences, I don't think I have really recovered. And I keep insisting that no woman, no uniformed girl should go through that because you should not use your body to get promotion. And when I worked in gender, where I've been for 10 years, I made sure that I really empowered the women. And you realize that recently during the International Women's Day, His Excellency the President also recognized and awarded 7 women from the prisons for being FGM champions. And this was from Kisii prison. You know Kisii, and FGM, elder abuse. You see, they will ban an old woman because she's old. They want land, so they'll say she's a witch, and they will do it. And then, you know, we also experience cross-border crimes. You know, bangi from Tanzania coming inside. And then, you know, the anger there's murder cases a little bit higher in Kisii. Then you also have Undanyi prison where there is early marriages. So we've come up with a program of parenting to help the young girls be able to parent, because we wouldn't want them to go through what we went through at that time. So what we are doing is that we are appreciating the fact that we are at the tail end of the criminal justice system, and we backstop national security. And because of this, we are saying that we will take advantage of our positions to be able to sensitize the women who come to our care, so that they are the voices in the villages. And therefore, the women who come to serve sentences go through a lot of rehabilitation. And when they get reintegrated, we use them as our champions. So then we also had Kapenguria women recognized. We had Lodwa. We had Kitale women for climate change. They have come up with the story gardens. You know the story garden? This one where you plant vegetables in a bag. They are called story gardens, so that they supplement the nutrition of the child. Then we also had thicker women. We have started a child care program for parents of incarcerated children. You know, incarcerated children now have those caregivers go through a program, and we have picked thicker women because of its proximity to Nairobi and other areas as our model prison for testing of the tools that we'll be using in taking care of incarcerated children. Therefore, we also had to recognize the officer in charge of the thicker women prison. After that, this program will be rolled out. So we're actually working on a child care policy for incarcerated
children, mothers and children.
Of incarcerated child care policy for incarcerated parents, because it's the parents who bring in the children. The children have no offense, but you know, you cannot separate the child from the mother. So what I'm saying is that with that experience that I've had working in gender, I had no option but to be a champion and to use my past to build something for the women now and for the future. So that we've now aligned actually policies. And we've had women empowered now. And it may be interesting for you to know that we now have a woman at the Prison Staff Training College, because we feel like with a woman, you can't go wrong. With a woman, you cannot call young girls coming to our institution women. They are officers like any other. And during my time, we also had to get rid of women. You know, we used to have like a corporal woman. In bracket, there used to be W. SP, superintendent woman. The others were officers, but women were women. So that even when you go for interview, your file is written W. So
a woman is coming.
A woman is coming. Now we don't have that. You are a prison constable, a prison officer. If you are Deputy Commissioner General, you are Deputy Commissioner General.
Not W.
Not W. We did our with W.
Yeah.
We are officers like another.
Yeah.
And by the way, we don't also go through another different or unique training.
It's the same.
It is the same. And you see for us in prisons what we've done, which is also different. Do you know, we have not really used affirmative action as such. We have decided to fight with the women, or with the men, And we have decided that we'll get empowered, we'll empower ourselves, we will hold one another's hand, we will embrace one another until we ensure that us and the generation behind us gets there without being given that very special platform. But the Constitution has helped us a lot. Therefore, I really want to appreciate the fact that His Excellence also realized that prisons is doing some very good work.
Yeah.
And among their awardees was also an ex-prisoner.
Oh.
She served her sentence in prison in Langata Maximum Women Prison. She raised her baby in the prison.
Oh, wow.
She had been charged with the fraud, bank fraud. And when she came out, she decided also to work with her colleagues behind bars.
Oh.
Yeah, so she takes care of their children as they serve sentences, because you realize that the child stays for 0 to 4 years. On attaining 4 years, the child will either be handed over to an next of kin if there is one. If we are not able to get hold of somebody who can take care of the child from the family, then the child is handed over to a children's home. Then you know now government is doing away with the CCIs, the child care institutions. So you have to get foster parenting or something. But you realize that if the woman is serving, for example, a life sentence, can you imagine what happens to the baby? It will get lost.
It's terrible.
Because you see, you give birth to a child, your family has never met this child, the child is handed over to a home, the home closes after some time, you are serving 30 years, by the time you come out,
you don't have a child.
You don't have a child.
Yeah.
They either got into crime and the cycle continues,
Yeah.
then you have died, then you have gotten, into whatever kind of life. And therefore you will have lost your child. And you can imagine that if you are in prison and you are not connected or linked to your child, it can be very
It is traumatizing,
Yes.
Quite interesting.
Yes. So this background has helped me to also build on something for the women.
And it's quite interesting, and I think it's showing. So Madam Tabitha, I just asked Madam about 35 years and her personal biases, what she's had to overcome. And maybe now, you're 28. What have you had to overcome?
Okay, I think first of all, let me start by saying that women can change the world. Women can change the society. The way I bring up my children will determine what they will be in life.
Yeah.
The way I handle any child that comes into my hands will determine how impactful those people will be. So as a young let me say state council, when I joined the service, I did not like the kind of bosses we had at that time. And my thinking in retrospect, probably they also had a very rough time, and they wanted to
they didn't know any better.
They didn't know any better, and they wanted to pass it on to us. They were, I don't know whether cruel is just a soft word.
Yeah.
They were cruel.
Yeah.
And particularly to us, the girls.
Yeah.
They used very bad language to us.
Yeah.
They did not handle us well. They did not go out of their way even to show us the way, mentor us. In any case, they tried to abuse us by even telling you, take this file, go to court, and thereby putting you into trouble because they have not guided you on how you are going to handle this. Yet the kind of cases we were handling were cases which were, some of them were older than ourselves. You find a file that has been existing there and has gone through so many hands, and you don't know how to go about it, and you're being told this matter is coming for mention. Just go there and tell the court to give us a last adjournment. Then you go there and the court tells you the last adjournment was given 2 years ago, so you proceed. So it was very tormenting. It was a very tormenting life. Issues of life, like even as I talked about maternity leave, I had a boss who did not care about maternity leave. All she could say is that as far as I'm concerned, you have never been here. And you're like, you feel your maternity leave, you will go and come back and find it there. She has neither approved or even looked at it. It has gathered dust there. Wow. So that kind of treatment was very bad. I also remember a transfer that I got from that and I handed in the hands of a male boss who sat me there and took me through an interview. Whereas if this was just a transfer where I've just been left one assignment to another, and took my CV and was taking me step by step through my CV and breaking me down into tears. That I thought was being done to me because I was a woman. The person also went into my marital life and was looking for all the personal details about my life. So that was also very tormenting. But I'm glad to say that my third reassignment, I was in the hands of a lady boss who was so motherly and actually turned out to be my mentor. Because even in handling files, I could do a brief and she says, I don't agree with you because of favor A, B, and C. Have you looked at this? Have you looked at, say, statement on page number this? You have not. And I felt, for the first time, I felt that somebody believed in me. So my word is to all the ladies, bosses out there, that we have to mentor the young people, not just professionally, but even in matters of life. In my career, I have had young colleagues reaching out to me, some by phone, some just booking an appointment, some have been posted in far-flung areas to come and just confide in me and tell me, madam, I'm going through ABC, and I don't know who to talk to. I don't know how to go about it. How can I be assisted? And I can tell you that women tolerate a lot of things.
They do.
Abuses, spousal abuses, and even sexual and gender harassment, even in the workplace. Many challenges they face in life. And let me tell you, as I said it at the beginning, women are caregivers. Women work 24 hours. A woman will never go on leave. You are a married woman, you are a mother, you are a boss, you are an employee, you are answerable to your employer or to your bosses. You are also controlling, maybe you are in charge of a certain docket. You have to manage those under you.
You are also an employer at home.
You are an employer at home. And listen, when you go home, you start another life.
And we need to talk about that. Is work-life balance real? Can you balance it? Can you be successful both at home and at work?
Yes, so let me just leverage on that to say that the fact that you never take leave, your children are there crying for you. Mami nimeumia, mami imekuwa hivi, mami mwalimu alisema, mami what, mami I have a toothache, mami this. Then the man arrives and also needs your attention because you know what, you are my wife, I married you, and you must attend to me.
He goes back to default settings. You're my traditional.
And nobody knows what you go through in the bedroom also. No one knows. That one is a story for another day. So those are challenges. But remember, you are also born by your parents.
You are also a daughter.
You are a daughter. You are somebody's child. They are also looking up to you to sort them out. You also have siblings. Some of us, or some people are even firstborns, or even if you are not firstborn, you are the only one who made it in that family. So they tell you the worker has not been paid, the cow has died, mom is sick, dad is this, what your brother
there's a funeral.
There's a funeral. That is the life of a woman. And if you do not know how to balance your life and where to put limits, because you remember, you cannot solve all the problems on this earth.
No.
So you should know where to put your limits. You should also know that you can only take in so much. You should also know that you need that strength. You need to be in good health. You need to have that mental balance so that you are able to handle even the next day. Otherwise, you can die.
But then how do you know you have a balance? You've struck a balance.
Yes, so the issue is when you come to the workplace, the challenge is, can you be able to focus on the work and leave everything else behind? Focus on the work and give it your best. If it is a lunch break, take a break. Take a break for sure, even if you are not eating. Take a break and do something else. Totally different from work. Get fresh air, drink water, go and pray, do something else that is different. Come back after that break and work. When it is time to leave, just leave. Just leave. Do not say that we have to do this. Of course there are deadlines, but work within the time that you are given, because a lot of times why we do not meet our deadline is that we do not make use of our day well. We take all that time, either you are on the phone or you are on the social media or you are in another office talking about things which you have no ability to change. So focus on why you are at workplace, make use of your time. If it is time to go home, so that when you go home you are now able to switch from the work, because if I am whoever in charge of head of what, that ceases the moment I walk
into your house.
When you get into house, you're just a mother. The baby just is the mother. The maid just tells you, you know what, even gas is over, and she's telling you there, and you don't even know where to start or what is this and what. You have to deal with all those things and also give them your very best. So it's a question of also, as you grow older and your children are also older, you're able to get time also for yourself. Also invest in your health. Invest. We are lucky that we have medical cover. Go for medical checkup. If there is a toothache you've been ignoring, if there is a lump that you noticed, go have it checked so that it can be sorted out in time. Then of course physical, I emphasize on physical fitness, because you need to be fit to juggle all these things. So for me, it's a question of balancing. It's a question also of just making sure that your mind is right for the purpose for that particular moment. You are a right mind for the mother, not a mother who goes home to shout
because of work stress,
to shout at your children, and also not be very accommodative of the spouse because of you're carrying too much, and vice versa. Not somebody who is so a very mean boss because you had issues at home, so now this you want to leave. No leave. You have not finished this. Why are you late? My child was sick. No, even as we are mothers, we have to be human beings. And so that's the kind of
work-life balance requires focus.
It requires focus, and you must be in good health, and you must be physically also fit, and also good. Get some sleep. Get some sleep. And lastly, take leave. Just take leave. Just take leave. I think every employer gives leave. You know, there is this issue of love for money. There's love for money where you think, if I'm not here, I'll miss an opportunity. But God is a provider, and God knows that you need that leave. That's why he worked for 6 days and
rested on the 7th.
He rested. So even sleep and rest, it's a healer.
We were talking about work-life balance before the show started.
Thank you. When I get to the office, I actually switch off. I don't even remember that I have a family.
Is that possible?
Yes. So what I do is that I focus on my work. When things go so bad, I take a break in that office. I go to the washroom. I cry, literally crying in the mirror. Then I look at the mirror and I say, Florence, you know what? You are the Deputy Commissioner General. Get to work. I wipe my face. I take a cup of coffee. I drink water. And I just work again. And when it gets so bad, I have a mat in the office. Just go behind. There's a small space behind, there's a cabinet. I go down on my knees. I am a stout Catholic. I take my rosary. I recite that rosary. And I say, Mother Mary, you actually walked with your son. Where I am is like where you were when Jesus was on the cross. So if I'm required in school, I'll be like, Mother Mary, do you remember when Jesus got lost? Please do this. Go to school and sort that issue. Because you see, this is where I'm supposed to be for now. And for me, it's like that self-talk really works because it gives me some balance. And when I get home, immediately I close the door of the office behind me. I remember that I have a family. So I will remember I need vegetables, I need what? Then I will pass through the supermarket. I pick whatever I need. When I go home, immediately I meet my children. I don't even remember I'm an officer.
Now you're a mother.
you see, they'll be like, Mommy. And you know, I am a mother of very many children, because what I've done is that I have taken in all the children that come along my way, for my sisters, for my late brother, for my sisters-in-law, and it's all fun, because it's like mom. And when I'm there, I don't even remember my position, and I don't know how this has happened, because I tend to forget that I'm even the deputy
An officer now.
I even tend to forget that I'm an officer. I'm like, is daddy home? Yes, he's in bed. And I say, no problem. We move, Mom, we didn't eat. I will do all that. But what has helped me a lot is that I am able to really put a demarcation. I don't know how this has happened, but I'm really able to
Did you learn it over time? Is it something you knew from the onset of your career?
It's like I've learned it over time. And you see, like lunchtime, before I got to this serious position, I was able to walk to the Holy Family Basilica. I walk. So when the escort maybe is following behind, I'm like, no, I'm just buying credit here. And I'll just go through this whole park, the Basilica. I attend Mass. And when I'm in Mass, I don't even remember whether I'm a mother. I don't even remember whether I'm an officer.
Now you're talking to God.
I am talking to God. And I am this type that goes to like the chapel, and I literally talk to God. And I'm like, God, if you were me, and you were Momanyi's wife, and you were Simon's mother, and you were the sister to Margaret and Alexina and all those others, what would you do? Then I'm like, God, you know what? You must do it right now. And then I'm very good at delegating. I really am good at delegating. I am able to say, Maggie, please rush home. There's this funeral. I'm able to tell my husband, please, dear, fanya hivi, project, please, the project. So he's able now. We really are able to divide roles. I delegate work both at home. I even delegate prayers, by the way. I'll call Sister Rosary in Italy, and I'm saying, Sister, you know you are near the Vatican. So wewe una kazi nyingine, hata una mtoto. Please pray for me. Pray now, pray, just pray. And sometimes friends will call me. I say pray. And I say, no, I say just pray. Pray for what? Tell God that you are praying for that intention of Florence. Just pray. And I think that has really helped me, because I am able to put things in small compartments. I will put Anita in this compartment.
And deal with me when time comes.
And deal with you when the time comes. And then I take time to talk to my mother and my father, because they are alive. And I will tell them, this is what I'm going through. Actually, I share my life with my family. I even share my work with my family. I'm able to tell them, you know, today I am going to ODPP for an interview.
Oh, nice.
Be there with me. And I'm able to say, I'm feeling so low.
And they'll pray for you.
And they pray for me. And I'm also able, I'm this type that will openly tell you what I think. You are my boss, and I'll say, you know what? I have a husband in the house, and I've already had issues with him. Please give me some space. So I'll tell my boss, you know, even I have another man in the house. Like, let me tell you an instance of work balance. I go to committee. Prison have decided to climb on the wall. I look at them and they call me. I say, no, I can't be a mother to a hooligan. I said, you know what? This building was put up in 1954, committee maximum. And the Mzungu who did that went with the ladder. You climb up there. I've never seen the ladder here. And you expect me to bring you down. Excuse me, I'm in a skirt.
I won't climb.
I won't climb, but I will shoot. And you will run down. And do you know what this does? That is when they realize we are dealing with a woman here. Not a man. I think women deal with things
differently.
And when people rub you the wrong way, you come out full throttle and you just go with them, because what else do you do? And therefore, I am able to just put everything in some compartment. I am like, now I'm an officer, I put it here. This other, I put it there. This other, I'm like, Judy, can you rush and do this? Go to the bank and do this. Go pay for the electricity. So I'm able to send people home. I'm even able to send people to go take their child to hospital as I finish this assignment, and we meet there. So, and I think...
You don't feel like one day, have you ever been told that you're abandoning your role?
Yes.
Many times?
Many times. Many times. But it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt me, because I know that I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
And you see, I was the first one to go to university from my village. And the whole village is around me. and my mentor, the Chief Justice, gives me a lot of encouragement. Then I came from a strictly monogamous family, very Christian. I go to a very polygamous family.
And you have to survive.
Yes, I come from a very calm family. I get married in a very authoritative family. So you see that balancing this is not easy. You are fighting with people here. And then I tell them, even me, I will fight with you because you see I'm an officer, much as I come.
You are born for it.
Yes. And therefore I've had also to juggle a lot. Actually to shuttle from one bus
to another. It's like Madam Tabitha says, you are a wife, you're a mother, you're a sister, you're an employee, you're an employer. Everybody depends on you for something.
Yes.
And you have to find a balance.
And I keep wondering, do they know I'm a human being?
And then you're a human being.
The other day my son was saying, Super Mom.
What that means.
So she's like, Super Mom, I celebrate you on International Women's Day. You are the banker here, you are the manager, you are the priest, you are the doctor, you are the teacher, you are now prof, you are the IC technician. And you know what, Mom? There's no gas. And by the way, our fridge. and then he said, and by the way, Mom, the fridge is not even working. And all your fish is in there.
Super Mom.
Super Mom.
Get working.
Get working.
Yeah. So, Madam Tabitha, just as you wind up, Madam Florence has brought up the idea of delegation. And I once heard Karomutoko talk about every woman needs a wife. You see the way you help your husband get ready for his day. You also need a support system. And I'm wondering, what is the impact of that for a professional woman like you?
I think I did not hear it for the first time from Roxanne. I heard it in 2003.
Okay.
In an international conference where a keynote speaker, her name was Roxanne. I can't remember the second name, but I remember very well Roxanne telling me, I realized I needed a wife. And she actually introduced the wife in quotes to the conference. That doesn't mean she didn't have a husband and grown-up sons, but she was saying there has to be another woman who is able to take care of those other
things,
issues in a womanly way, address them in a womanly way, so that I can have peace of mind and focus on my destiny. You know, and I remember when I was young in the profession, at one time I thought I was getting overwhelmed. I remember even in my fellowship asking for prayers that if I continue like this, I'm going to break down, because there was so much firefighting in the workplace and in the docket I was holding, that everything always looked like it's urgent and it can't wait. And remember, whereas you have all these other activities around you, you're also a court-going person. So once in a while, you have that case where the judge said will come for mention on such and such a day at 2 p.m. That one, you already put it at the back of your mind. Even if it's in your diary, you never looked at that diary again. So you get a call from the court.
Oh no.
And now you're wondering, what is the shortest route to the courtroom? I mean, can I fly, or what do I do? So what would save me in such situations was the rapport that I'd had over the years with some of those judges, and you can call and say, I'm sorry, and
I'm running late.
Judge says, it's okay, it has been handled. I found a colleague of yours here, he came in and held your brief. So I think that having that support system is very, very important for a woman. It is good to invest in healthy relationships. That, you know, there was a day I went to a school and stood in for a friend on a parent's day. Because she was out of the country, and she was like, you know what, Tabitha, I would do this for you, and I told her I will do it, and I went. So if you can have those kind of relationships, that somebody can stand in for you and stand in and play certain roles for you. I've also empowered my children very, very well, that I can tell somebody, take this car and go to a such and such a place, take this money and go and do A, B, C, so that you don't have to have
to be everywhere and do everything.
To be everywhere. And that takes us to now the extended family. And I'm happy to acknowledge that she has taken in so many children. Because when you are growing mother, you see everyone else. as a bother. You only want to focus on your 2 children, feed them
Or your one child.
give them sausages, and there could be a needy niece or nephew here who needs help. Embracing people in your life, you realize later on when they are grown-ups, you can also entrust them because they entrusted you with their lives and you invested in them. You can also tell them, can you go to such and such a place and do for me this? In the workplace, it's about empowering those under you, giving them assignments. I have a policy where I am today that if I was invited for a meeting, I will not go alone. I will always take another person with me. And
so that they
them,
learn.
You don't have to say anything, just carry a diary and say, take some notes. If there's any follow-up to be done, you will assist
Take
me.
it note.
We will help me, we'll write the report together. And it has gone a long way. It has gone a long way. I am now happy to say that some of the teams I have behind me can even make presentations on my behalf. And I have no doubt that they'll be able to do. Empowerment, you will not delegate without empowerment. How do you delegate to somebody you have not trained? If you have people working under you, and particularly girls, appreciate them, commend them, and feel them, empathize with them. When they look down, ask them, what is
going on?
Today you are not up to yourself. What you don't know what's going on, and they can tell you, madam, today nilikuwa na issue kidogo. Then I tell them, I used to have those things before, but this is how I manage them. Then they just laugh it off, and life goes on. So we appreciate them, we mentor them, we empower them, so that we can effectively delegate. And we delegate and supervise. We delegate. I gave you this part. How
have
far
you finished?
You gone? What challenges are you facing? Let me see how far. Is there anything I can do? And it works very, very well. So delegation is,
and the support system is important.
And a support system. Good friends. And even in your belief system, you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, whatever. Always have people who can also pray for you and intercede for you, because you should be able to call and say, you know what, this is happening to me.
Pray for me.
And it happens. It works. So that's a support system is there, both in the family, in your spiritual life,
and your professional life.
Yes.
Quite. I think I'm one of
if
those.
If I had money, I would invest in a wife.
That should be our cutting point. That's where we should stop. And I wanted to tell you that conversation about getting a wife is what changed my life as well, because I was a mother in quick succession and everything was just piling up at some point. And then when I had that conversation, I stopped and said, I am going to invest in a wife. I need a wife. And it worked for me very well. Yeah, so there are people here on YouTube and Facebook. Purity Moshiri says, great discussion. Becky Arunga says, a lovely conversation. Agatha Lango says, very honest and real life experiences. Work-life balance is possible. I never used to think it was, by the way.
Those are my kids.
Oh, nice. Thank you for the encouragement. Yeah, God bless you. God bless women. Rieki Meroka says, great talk. Thank you so much. And then on that was Facebook. This is YouTube. Judy says, quite insightful. Bravo, ladies. And then Caroline Gigi says, this is such a real and candid conversation. Thank you, Madam Tabitha and Florence, for boldly talking about women and the biases. And then somebody asked a question. I don't know whether it's the right forum. Luke Geik, it's been a long time since you came online. Thank you for following us. He's asking, differentiate between justifiable homicides and unjustifiable homicides. And I think it's not the forum for it today. Yes, we can talk about that later. Look, today we are celebrating women and the biases that we've had to overcome. And we've just had enough very nice stories here. Martin Masinde says, this is so wonderful. Benna Moja is watching. Thank you so much. Longton Jamil is also asking about a case. What about the case about a 23-year-old defiled a 13-year-old, and the magistrate said they are all underage in Kajiado? Again, it's not the forum. We are breaking the bias today. Yeah. Thanks, Ian, for watching, and Martin as well. Duncan says he's doing short notes, so he needs to write about Duncan Ondimu. So tell him again about that one for the wife. Everybody needs a wife. And then he says he will post. But honestly, that discussion about work-life balance is one that you need to have quite often. At home, like also I had Mutoko says, breaking the bias begins from home.
Yes.
And then it comes to work. If you don't break the bias at home, you can't break it at work. So that work-life balance question, very important.
Finish.
Yes.
I don't feel complete before I talk about mother-in-law. the best investment that I think I have made is my mother in my mother-in-law.
You're one of the few.
What I did is that one day I sat down and I said, Mom, I'm so fed up with this burger here. You know, the burger is the son. She looked at me and she said, Baba, do you think if I wasn't the kind of woman I am, I would have stayed with? Then, you know, she mentioned the husband's name, who is my father-in-law. I can't mention it here. Then, you know, I sat down one day and I said, you know what, Florence? You are the women that Kenya and the world is proud of, the women going places. And yet, you don't realize that you are the woman this woman needs. Then I said, you know, I am going to have a woman-to-woman, heart-to-heart talk with this lady here. So I decided to just put everything down. I looked at her as a woman. The way I'm looking at you. And I decided she's my friend, she's a woman. She's not my mother-in-law now. She's a woman who needs help. A woman in a village. An illiterate woman. A woman who doesn't have anything. And I decided to talk to her candidly, as a professional now, as a woman who has gone to school. And I decided I am going to talk to her from that context. And we started talking about this man in my life. I didn't remind her that it is her son. I just was talking about the man in my life and how I don't understand him. And she was talking to me about the man in her life that she doesn't understand, yet she lives with. And then we came to the conclusion that my father, my brother, my grandfather, my father-in-law, my husband, and my son, they are all men, they are all the same, and it is women who are their mothers. Yeah, the connection is like you're the mother, you breastfed these people, wherever they come from. And we must understand them because we need each other, we need the men. And then my mother-in-law from that day became my friend. So I went out of the country, I went to South Africa. What did I do? I bought a dozen underwear of each, or you know, the whole set. And I brought home. And I gave her, I remember my husband was so shocked. My mother-in-law was like, what? The other women in the village asked her, hold on, a daughter-in-law? And then she said, you know, even my husband doesn't know I wear brassiere. She said, my husband doesn't know that I wear even a pant.
Because of that generation of men were not involved to that extent.
Yes, I don't think even yours has got for you this things. That's for another day. That's for another day. So you can imagine that my mother-in-law really, my father-in-law wouldn't have bought for her. Do they even know where these things are bought?
No.
So what happened is that from that time, one day my husband said that, you know, Mom, my mother-in-law is big. And he said, you know what? Mom used to air. If you come from the village, you may understand. Big
Afuongo.
Afuongo on the flowers behind the house and cover it with a shaded lasso. And the sun would blow off that lasso and you would never pass behind the house. And then he was telling me, you know, these days, Mom just puts her pants.
With pride.
Yes, on the hanger. And there's no difference between yours and Mom's and my sisters and everybody's. And that changed the life of my mother-in-law.
Some dignity.
Oh my God. She dresses like a professional. She walks like a professional. And she is just one. And she became young. And she became a beauty.
Wow.
And my mother-in-law and my mother, they are my best because she was able to give me her son. Isn't that a wonderful woman?
That's a good woman.
She gave me her son, a loving son. You know, she slept with this son, akimunyonyesha. Now you see I sleep with this one as my husband. You see that connection?
Yes.
That at some point, the mother shared the blanket with the son. And at some point, the wife shares with the blanket with the same son. That is the connection. Mother-in-law is a wonderful person in my life. She should be in your life. Also because we are becoming one soon.
Not very soon. Yours is very unique. People have really interesting stories about this. So JV Owiti says he's also watching. I think we're actually taking notes. And they're learning from this. So it's quite an important discussion you're having. So maybe just final words, Madam Tabitha, if you have any.
Yeah, I want to say that much as we are focusing on the International Women's Day and Girl Child and everything about bias and all that, you know, we are not in this world alone. And after you have achieved all these things, you will go on your bed and you're like, I need a man here. Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll go to my kitchen and I'll find something is so high up here and I'll say, where is that tall boy? You know, because now I cannot just call the father anyhow and tell him come and so I have to use my voice. So we need these boys. So we have to work hard on the society, and it starts from home. It starts from home. Both mother and father never make any derogatory statements. Even if we are in this era of girl empowerment of the girl child, as a mother, never say anything derogatory about the boy child. Yeah, because the outcry, what is out there is that the boy is saying, we have been neglected, nani atawaoa. And that is the case, because we are seeing these days, girls are very
strong.
They are strong. They are, so they marry their age mates. Those age mates are just like babies before them. Yeah, you see. So we must balance. We must learn to balance the society. Let us embrace the boy child. Let us also empower them. If you are giving them roles, give them both roles. Let no one say that I'm a boy, so I can't wash dishes, or I can't do this. That is a girl's work. Even the washing the car. Then my girls can wash the car, and the boys can rest. So that we balance, so that we have a complete society, a balanced society, and a happy society. We do not want very empowered girls when they are married, they'll be coming back to us, you know, huyo mtu ni mjinga sana, huyo mtu ni mslow, huyo mtu ni remote tu, hakuna kitu, he doesn't think. We don't want that kind of life. We want men who will be able to stand up as men and as what they were created for. If we go back to the story of the creation, we know that men were created for a purpose, to have dominion over the earth, and women were created to complement them. So let us have men with big visions, so as we just fit in and say, what is your dream? What is my role here? So that we can move together for a prosperous society. So that is my take.
All right.
And for you to succeed, you must work like men. You see male politicians? If women want to succeed, they must work like men. You know, men work really hard also, and men don't hate. They don't gossip. They go, they have a drink, they come, they fight, and they move on. They don't carry grudges. And if women want to succeed, we must work like men and actually be like them, because you see, they've been in this space before. We're just coming there, so we must learn from them. I appreciate my boss, Brigadier Warioba. I appreciate my husband, James Mumanyi. I appreciate my CS, because these are wonderful men in my life. They keep encouraging me. When I'm annoyed in the office because my boss has done something that I thought rubbed me the wrong way, I have my husband who understands. And when things get so bad, I look and I'm like, if these men are doing this, why can't we do it? So it's also good for us to actually work like male politicians.
All right.
Anita, before I forget, I also would want to just encourage the women folk there that let us not put beauty above everything else. Let us also just work on our character and on our calling, because everyone has a calling. If it is about your profession, always strive to better yourself, so that you do not focus so much on your looks, and therefore not having men looking at you for a woman for your sexual ability, but other than that, they should look at what you are able to do and who you are, and what is your profession and what is your calling. So let us work on bettering ourselves. The upstairs will take you to places where the downstairs, no one cares. Every human being has got a downstairs. Just to borrow a word, every human being has got a downstairs, but it is your brain
that will take you places,
that will open doors for you.
Worthwhile doors. All right, thank you so much, ladies. I wish you could talk. I told you this day really brings out different stories every other year when I have this discussion, and I appreciate your insights. I appreciate your advice. And I hope somebody has learned something
Thank you, Anita.
today.
It was quite an honor. This is my second time to be in your show. It was quite an honor.
And there's going to be a third and a fourth.
And you make me feel like you're the only one listening. Yet you have put me out there to the whole world.
Everyone is listening. Yeah. It's been an interesting, even in the chats, there are men watching, there are men taking notes, and how you've acknowledged the men in your life. So there's the he for she, the men for women, and women for men, so that you don't forget the boy child as well. So each person has a role, like we say. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming to the show. I'm looking forward again to inviting you. You make very interesting panel. Looks like we can talk until the producer.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure to meet the second in command.
Imagine that.
The prisons. Now I have a great, my network has expanded. Thank you so much. It's an honor to share the platform.
Thank you, Madam Deputy. Thank you so much. Say hello to all the colleagues, including Dorcas in the ODPP. Tell them that we are here for them. And should they come to us, we will definitely take care of them. We are at the tail end of everything. And take care of you when you come to our custody. We have enough food for everybody. And we have space.
That's not a place not to look for.
We will not come
to the headquarters for a cup of tea.
And we wish all the people an belated International Women's Day.
All right.
You have a blessed weekend.
Okay. So I'm just closing this with Jerry. Lillian, thank you, ladies. We've learned a lot. And Nancy Mayo says, great discussion. So it's been a great discussion. I wish we could do more, but we can't discuss everything. Yeah. So we've come to the end of the show, and I want to thank you so much for being part of the show. For me, it's been an interesting discussion. Each International Women's Day brings new insights for me as a woman in the field, a professional woman, and I hope it has done the same for you. There's so much you've had today, a lot of nice tidbits. I will just pick one from Madam Tabitha. If you have money, invest in a wife. Invest in your wife. Madam Florence says, invest in the people around you, appreciate them. She has appreciated her mother-in-law in a big way. She's acknowledged the men in her life. She can't do it alone. So definitely you are not born to survive on your own. You can't take all the things that are supposed to be done by you. You can't just take in everything. You need to be able to delegate. You need to lean on your support system so that you're able to work. And work-life balance is possible. You just need to focus and compartmentalize. Is that the word?
Yes.
Yes. Put things into compartments. Don't have everything in one tray and hope to achieve something. And also invest in the people around you. Delegate as you empower them. That's according to Madam Tabitha. Yeah. So I wish you, and I hope you've been following our series as well on social media. We've been acknowledging the women at ODPP, the women who just, they work at ODPP and they are not seen, but now we are profiling them on social, and we're still going to go on up until the weekends as we celebrate these years in a big way. It is breaking the bias. They continue to break the bias. We continue to break the bias, and you're called upon to break the bias in your space and school yourself of your unconscious bias so that you're able to influence people around you positively. I find myself nowadays so able to talk a lot of things, but I don't want to continue talking. I think I can start another show again about unschooling unconscious biases. So I want to wish you a good Friday. I want to wish you a restful weekend, and catch up with us again in the coming week, and let's see what the topic will be. And of course, we'll have a panel on the show to give us better insights. God bless you, and thank you once again. Yeah.
Thank you.